Ladies and gentlemen, Artie Quitter Podcast. Now, did you ever hear Dan's black accent, Dave?
No.
You got to hear it. Dan, do it.
I need to be in character.
I particularly like to...
What character? You're in character. You're the producer of the podcast. Do your black. It's the worst, most offensive. Now, I just set it up. It's offensive and bad. You can't go wrong now. Only if it's good. That ain't happening. Say anything.
I need to...
I asked Bocchetti to do a black accent.
Yeah.
Okay. The most offensive. We can't play that, right? We don't have that technology. It takes an hour. I want to play something from yesterday's show. I can't find it. Like it's the fucking Valachi paper.
I can play. Give me
All right, don't worry about it. No, Dan, I don't want you to take a minute. It's so embarrassing. It just gets me nervous when you're looking for it.
I always do the Walt Clyde Frazier one. I particularly like the way, the flippantous way in which he's...
The flippantous bambubinous. The reading is seating bambubinous compibinous. Everybody's Greek. Bambubinous fibinous. Onassis compactus. Campanis compacanic. All right, so here's what Bocchetti does. Bocchetti does his black accent. It's the most offensive. Not only is the way he's doing the accent offensive, but what he says, this is literally what he said. 3 words. Motherfucker chicken. I'm not kidding. He said motherfucker chicken.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, it was.
Where'd he come up with that?
Out of his fucking bucket head. Who knows what goes on in that fucking enclosure? The size of that head. And you know what? Someone made a Mount Boredom, like Mount Rushmore. Our fans are so funny. So Dan's on it, of course. Mario is on it. And one other person. But, okay. Bocchetti's on it. He's like the side. It might be Gino. He's like the side. I don't know, Chris Cotton, maybe. He's on the side, Bocchetti, like where Roosevelt is or something. His face is off, and he's got his mouth open looking up. It looks like he's trying to catch a bird with his mouth. It looks so... And we found out that his mother sometimes will, like the Empire Penguin, feed in the afternoon and keep some of the food in her gullet to throw up into Mike's mouth. And so Morgan Freeman goes, that's when Mrs. Bocchetti throws up a milky substance into the mouth of Mike, waiting with his open mouth. I picture Bocchetti.
Did you hear what Mike said? When his mother dies, he's going to be a lonely man.
When his mother dies. What about when your mother dies? What are you going to be?
Well, I'm not going to be.
You're going to be a guy over here going, can I sleep here every night?
No. Never.
Yeah, well, no, Bochetti's already angling at that. He's already going, when my mother dies, of course. I go, Mike, I don't have room. It's either you or your sizzle reel. I don't have room for all 3.
Well, then it's a good thing he made that power play when you had the direct TV show, so he could talk himself out of a job.
Well, that's right.
Instead of banking some cash.
He made so many wrong moves. He thought he was going to be huge.
That's what he does. He always thinks that he's always going to happen every single time. He's never going to learn.
He said, I'm going to be huge. I go, if you mean you're going to gain more weight,
I believe you.
Totally believe you. But no, he really thought that.
Yeah, he fired his manager, right?
Yeah. Could you imagine? The guy drove him there and waited for 3 hours for Mike. Mike had no way to get there.
And then to take him home.
Yeah, took him home to Staten Island. How depressing.
And then he fired him.
Do you know how depressing Mike's house must be? Inside.
I always wonder what it might be like.
Oh, like Robert Crumb's house. Robert Crumb's more depressed brother than the mother. Oh, Robert, your brother's constipated. Did you ever see Crumb, the documentary about that?
No, I just actually saw the Harvey Picar one.
Oh, well, that's great. But Picar, yeah.
Only because Pete Holmes said I reminded him of him, and then I got upset.
Well, you're not like him. He was a curmudgeon. You're direct opposite of him. But looks-wise.
Well, I think...
I'd much rather have his personality.
No, he was saying because I have like a regular job and, I just like
looks.
Damn it.
He's being nice to you.
His looks were gross.
He worked... Well, that's what I mean.
I know it's what you mean.
But so is his regular job, so... And what I'm saying is either scenario is terrible.
I know.
He worked as a clerk.
I had no idea Judah Friedlander was in it. He was brilliant in it. I had no idea that was him.
He's more than brilliant. I said Judah Friedlander in the movie American Splendor about Harvey Picar it's one of the best acting performances of all fucking time.
Yep. Jeez, I had no idea.
Nails it in a way.
Blown away.
He plays a guy who's Picar's like good friend who he works with, who's a real nerd and talks like this. He's a Cleveland guy. Nerd.
And if you didn't...
Harry, I am... listen, Harvey. I'm going to White Castle to get cheeseburgers. and then I'm going to watch Revenge of the Nerds.
Into the Nerds, which is a movie.
It's a movie about nerds that get revenge.
If they hadn't put the real guy in the movie, I would have been like, that's a little over the top.
Well, you go, okay, first of all, he was in the public eye, the guy, a little bit, because Harvey got big on Letterman as a third guest type thing, and so did that guy.
Oh, he would bring him on sometimes?
Sometimes.
I didn't know.
And he was on MTV,
And he was
right?
on MTV.
Yeah.
In the mid-'80s, it was like MTV Spring Break in Cleveland.
Right. I missed all that
They did
stuff.
that joke, and he would put himself sunbathing in Cleveland by the White Castle because he loved White Castle.
Right.
And he sounds like, he goes, Harvey. I'm doing it, a lame version of it. But, look,
Actually, you're doing
I
it
disagree.
pretty good,
I disagree.
actually.
Well, thank you. I'm fishing for a compliment. I think I get it from Mario and Dan now, because Dan is seething with jealousy. Okay, another fucking accent, another fucking impression, Mr. Big Shot, Mr. Fred Traveling over there. I guess I could have done what you did on Dal, but I was a nice person.
Where are the white women at? There you go.
No, I don't mean to cleave on little. Talk like a black guy. Do it, Dan. Come on.
Come on, Dan.
You're so jealous. Yeah, your black guy's pretty good, fucker. Who cares? So you do an impression of the inferior race. What does that say about you? I was nice enough not to throw my friends under the bus and tell stories that you got laughs with stories about your friends and your physical afflictions. I was nice to my family, your poor mother, while you're like gaining checks and getting comedy accolades and book deals. Yeah, that's right. I'm busy being boring on Doll. Okay? I didn't throw my friends into the bus. Okay, I could have been you. That's what he says to himself, I guarantee it. I'm fishing for a compliment now, and Dave's the only nice one to go. I'm going I'm doing a perfect nerd guy. I'm doing a perfect guy. Harvey.
It's so
And I
good,
go, it's not that good, And Mario, of course, hates everybody. Who's successful.
No, it is good, but again, I
you.
just still can't believe how good he was.
Thank you, Dave.
I had no idea
Are you
that.
talking about Judah?
No, but you were doing it really
Now,
good.
let me tell you something. I disagree in one way. I'll give Judah the full compliment. If you didn't know that guy, and it was just something he made up, I would have thought a little over the top, and kind of contrived maybe, but still an unbelievably entertaining original character.
Oh no, agreed. But
then you see the guy.
Yeah.
He's doing a perfect impression. Now listen, there's some performances where you do a perfect impression, but not a good acting job. He's doing a great acting job and a perfect impression. It's one of the better.
He's unrecognizable in the performance,
which is good for Judah.
Which is amazing for Judah because he is, that.
Judah
he's
looks like
very
something-
recognizable. He's always-
Listen, I don't want to be didactic and facetious. My cousin Judah, the famous diabetic, looked like something you might find in a live bait shop. Now, Judah Freelander has a life uniform. In about 1994, he got into a yellow shirt and Adidas pants.
Fascinating.
Carpenter pants, jeans, right? And sneakers, and it says world champ. He developed an ironic bit where he's the world champion. He's great at everything. It's like a Steve Martin type thing, wild and crazy guy. He's got the kind of irony. He's very smart. Hasn't changed a bit in 40 years.
He's never had to change his wardrobe for any role he's ever had.
Right. Great joke writer.
It's unbelievable.
Also, I'll give you this. People think of Todd Berry with this, but also Judah is a master guy with the crowd. Like smart, though, not like hacky stuff. He makes up shit when talking back to the crowd in that world champion character. And he's just a talented, smart guy. In this movie, American Splendor, you'd think he was fucking, the best method actor ever.
Yeah.
I mean, give him, Daniel Day-Lewis. You think he was like Daniel Day-Lewis?
You're absolutely right.
Could disappear into a role. Instead, he disappears into a Queens, a borough. He's had 4 different apartments.
I know. It's weird. He loves living in Queens. Why is that?
Bitches about money. He was a regular on one of the biggest sitcoms in NBC history. He goes, I got a money arc.
Wearing his own outfit. He didn't even have to go into wardrobe.
Nothing. He spent money on nothing. Certainly not women. 7 years. 7 fucking years. And you know his character's based on 30 Rock? Frank Sebastiano.
Is that right?
Really?
Because Frank was a writer at SNL and had that exact look and had that attitude. Brilliant writer, had the attitude like, fuck you. Yep.
Wow.
He's based on Frank, who co-wrote Dirty Work with Norm and co-wrote Beer League with me and directed Beer League.
Wow.
And wrote the first year I was on Norm out of 2 years. Me and Frank did work together. Dirty Work, Beer League, 2 cult classics according. I guess if you believe the Vanity Fair magazine. I guess if you want to believe that rag. Thank you. Yeah. So listen, Mario, what are your thoughts on that career? You're probably more mad at me.
I'm watching this baseball game here.
All right, you know what?
He's watching the Spaceball game.
This is an excuse. First time the fucking little fag watched a baseball game. Now it's not on. Now you're forced to do, I don't know, your
And now
job.
you've done it. I've been trying to look at the score the whole time. God damn it, Mario.
Did I pay for an Uber for you to come here and watch the fucking Dodger game? I'm watching the Dodger game. You're sitting there like Sarah Jessica Parker. What was that?
I took the bus here.
I know, Mario. You told us you're so fucking.
How do you take a bus here?
You're braving it, aren't you?
How does a bus go from Brooklyn to Hoboken?
Come on, Spider. You want sympathy, right?
Oh, you took it to the Port Authority?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The Port Authority.
I don't know why I needed to know. I just did.
It's going to be the Mort Authority.
The Mortadaria.
Morta.
I want those Rosado brothers
Dead.
No, Mort. Cheech. Amorta.
Champagne cocktails.
What do you want me to do with him? Nothing. The old man had too much wine. I've already made my decision. Michael Corleone says, Anthony, you say one word, I swear to God. Great movie. He comes back, Godfather 1. Who would, could you imagine when you heard he was going to do 2 and you're going, oh, they're going to ruin it. And
right.
then it's that good.
Absolutely.
It's that good.
It's unbelievable.
And then you hear 3 and you go, terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, how terrible 3 is. How terrible 3 is.
You're so right, though.
Thank you.
That 2 is...
Again, Dan would never point that out.
But that they didn't fuck it up. They actually... I mean, I like
And
one
they
better.
did it immediately. They did it immediately.
Yeah.
It was the next year. It came out 2 years later, which means the next year they shot it immediately.
It feels like they must have had a plan, but clearly they didn't, right? They didn't know. They didn't know it was going to be that.
It wasn't in the novel. The novel ends. The novel ends with Kay lighting the candle, which means they had to write a whole new fucking thing.
There is a bunch of stuff, as I've been reading the book a little bit, there is a bunch of stuff in Godfather 2 from the original novel, though, that they use in Godfather 2.
Not the whole narrative of Tahoe and fucking...
No,
Play your little games.
But they talk about the older stuff and younger. In fact, I think it even starts with the Antonio Andalin.
And the book... The childhood is much more expanded on. Yeah, absolutely. Did you ever see a picture of Mario Puzo? What a fat slob.
No, I never have, actually.
Oh, he's disgusting.
He's dead, right?
Yeah.
What else did he do besides he wrote the conversation too?
Listen, Coppola, that's Mario. Yeah, can you make?
He wrote Superman.
Can you make this novel? Superman. Can you make this novel into a movie? I want to get a black horse to sit on my face for it. I want to sit on her face too. No, okay. The conversation was Coppola's pet project, and that's the reason he did the book The Godfather was considered a dime store cheap soap novel.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by that.
They hated it. People thought it was cheesy, and that's what Coppola thought it would become off as. And that's what Brando thought. But Brando needed the fucking money, thank God.
Wow.
And they got him in. And he made it beautiful, shot it beautifully, and turned it. So, yeah, he thought it was going to be that. He did it to get money for the conversation.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Now, did Puzo write the conversation?
I don't know. That I know.
He wrote something else.
He's Superman.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
He wrote The Sicilian.
Yeah. Not that good. Just overrated. People like it, but
the first Superman.
Who's that? Ben Gazzara?
Which technically he might have written 1 and 2 because they did it at the same time.
He wrote 2, I think, right? Does he have it?
Well, they did it at the same time. They didn't tell the cast. They were really angry. Wait,
I know.
We're doing 2?
I know.
You mother.
Well, Duvall.
Okay, so he wrote.
Go ahead, go.
Godfather 2, Earthquake, Superman, Superman 2, A Time to Die, The Cotton Club, The Sicilian, The Fortunate Pilgrim, Godfather 3, Christopher Columbus, The Discovery, Superman 2, The Richard Donner cut.
But that's the best cut.
The Family Corleone.
Yeah, but that's all stuff that he didn't like.
So wait, he got
Superman
paid.
2, the director's cut. Have you ever seen that? It's a completely different film.
No.
It's unbelievable.
No.
It's a completely different Superman 2.
Superman 2 is?
Yeah, this guy, is it Richard Donner, right? It opens with him going, and these motherfuckers, when I first did Superman, they can go fuck themselves.
So it's a documentary?
No, it's the full film, but he gets on first and tells them why he's put it together. He's like, these guys can go fuck, the Salkins can go fuck themselves, and you can go fuck yourself if you don't like this version of it. And then it opens in a completely different way. And it's weird because there's a bunch of stuff where you're like, wait, why wouldn't they put this in? And then there's a bunch of stuff where you say like, wait, how could they have taken that out? So it's weird, but it's a completely different film.
By the way,
if you love Superman 2, like I do,
if you
it
never
was
heard,
amazing seeing another version.
I love Superman 3. With
No, you
Richard
don't.
Pryor's best friend. No,
But
by the way, if you guys ever were wondering what Dave Juskow's podcast sounds like, you just heard it.
That's true.
I like Superman too,
That's
and he
true.
goes back out, and Richard Donner, and I hate the fucking. Everybody knows I hate that.
Well, no, I was doing the Richard Donner invitation, but Superman
Who knows
2,
what Richard Donner?
He told a great story before. Can I tell the story you told me
I don't remember what it was.
about where you used to do your podcast?
Oh yeah, I can say that. Right. Yeah.
Why not let him tell it?
Oh, that's okay either way.
Dance
I used to do it. I started doing it at Stand Up New York, Stand Up Labs.
Does the story
on the
better?
second floor? No.
Yeah, no, I do. I know. Sue Costello did a one-girl show there for 3 years.
Oh God, right. So this guy who ran the show, he's like, yeah, let's try it until the Super Bowl or whatever. And then after the Super Bowl, he goes, yeah, we're gonna let go of your show. And I'm like, why? You got 3 listeners. It's horrible. And so, but he
Got
was
Tim Davis?
No, Jonathan Fatigate. So
Jonathan Fat at the Gate?
yeah, it's a weird name.
Jonathan Fatigate?
Yeah, that's his name. So anyway,
Christina Fatigate.
So he leaves on pretty good terms, and I say, no, thanks, I appreciate it. He's like, you can still use our site, do it. You can still do it, and I'm like, thank you. And so I was doing my 100th podcast on Saturday. I said, hey, do you think I could go back to the space one last time, to do the 100th show? And he wrote me back, and he goes, listen. I heard you bash me on your podcast after we parted ways, so I don't want to do you any favors. And I'm like, and then I was like, what? What is he talking? I went back to listen, and I'm like, I understand. I just heard it.
That's hilarious. So, wait, he was one of the 3 listeners?
That's what I'm saying. I didn't think anybody was listening. What the hell do I tell you?
You got 3
and this motherfucker thinks he's going to do
You
me.
got 3 listeners, and I'm one of them.
Thanks.
No,
You're the
not
best.
me, him. I don't listen. I'm saying he was the guy. I'm doing the character of the guy in the story.
I know.
Hey, Dan, can we take a picture of your arm for the website?
Sure.
Yeah, you can roll the sleeve up. It's disgusting.
It is
Take it.
a little Robin
Take a
Williams
picture.
like.
It's so gross. Picture one of
It's
those
not
hairs.
that bad.
One of those hairs in your omelet.
Oh well, that's disgusting.
Now, did you remember Tim? Remember Tim Davis,
Yeah, Tim Andre Davis,
the big tall guy?
Yeah.
I was.
You used on the Eagle.
I had been on Mad TV for 2 years. I made movies for a few years. I had a couple of development deals. I was regular on Conan. I'm touring the country, and I was on the sitcom Norm for a year. You would think I'm doing okay for myself money wise. He's desperate to get me to MC one night at Stand Up New York.
It's Stand Up. Oh, right, he moved to
I went
Stand
the night
Up New
before to
York.
do a spot. I remember because the last time I ever saw Zach Galifianakis pre-Hangover, 11 years pre-Hangover.
Yeah.
He was managed by Peter Pritzpot at the time.
I know that.
Peter said, we're capitalizing on the L feed. And I said, I went, Tim Davis knew I was in town. So the next night I get a call. I'm going to dinner with my family. It was my birthday week.
Oh.
Second year of the Norm Show. I'm home for a week for my birthday. We had, hiatus. Because when you're a regular on a sitcom, it's the best thing ever. You get every 3 weeks, you get a week off for the writers to catch up.
Oh my God.
And I was making $35,000 a week. $35,000 a week I was making. This is crazy. This is crazy. Here's what I got 35 G's a week over here. Right? Here's the show. Norm, I would go to Norm. You think what I'm thinking? Norm would go, I'm not thinking of cheeseburgers. Then I would go, walk off. Friday, $35K.
Wow.
Okay. I give my mother fucking $17,500, give 10% to William Mars, cash the rest, put it in my pocket, walked around LA like I was fucking Jerry Bruckheimer, my friend. Asian whores. All right.
Wow.
So, what was I saying? What was I talking about?
Stand up to do a spot.
Okay.
Tim Andre Davis.
Thank you. Perfect reminder. I said, Tim, I don't want to MC. And I'm not good at MCing. Attell's not either.
Why would he even ask you to MC?
Because he's a dick.
He is a
okay,
dick.
he goes, come on, Artie, come on.
A legendary dick.
You got $15 for a spot back then, by the way. So, again, I'm not bragging, but I was on Mad TV, 2 network shows for 4 years, a couple of movies. He goes, $60. I said, Tim, wait a minute. All right, let me cancel the plans. Ma, we can't go out for my birthday. Yeah. Cancel the limo. Yeah. $60 to work for 8 hours, bringing up every dickhead in the fucking this next performer.
Well, I don't even understand where he came up with the idea of you MCing at that point.
Because he needed somebody. And he
Where did he
called
even
me.
get your number?
Well, because I was a regular at the club.
It's stand-up.
Yeah,
Okay.
he managed. He was booking stand-up.
Well, because I remember when he was booking that place on 14th Street.
No, he was
The
booking.
Eagle Tavern. That was the name of it. Oh,
By the
my
way,
God.
the Eagle Tavern was right next to the old Ames Billiards.
And then next to the steakhouse that
right
we
from
went
the
to with
Hustler.
Telsing.
I love the Eagles. I hate them. I mean the band, not the group.
No, I know what you're talking
But no, he booked Stand Up New York, so he had my number. So I went and I did a spot the night before. Hey, Artie, can you MC tonight? And this next gal is from Boston, Sue Costello.
Did you used to MC there?
No.
It just doesn't add up. Like,
He
why you would
needed
even-
somebody.
I know, but
I gotta
like,
piss
why
again.
you? Doesn't make any sense, right? Like, why? There's
You know what?
there's the classic.
I'm actually sorry I told the story because he's an allergy.
Yeah, but think about this. He said he was getting $15 to MC. Russ Maneve changed all that.
$15 a spot.
Yeah, and Russ Maneve changed all that.
To what, 10?
I don't know, whatever. He fought for more money for comics.
You know, I remember that about Russ, and he's right. Every point Russ makes
pretty
about
cool.
money, he's right. We get ripped off, and Russ is the guy to point that out.
Russ took a chance, a real big chance to never work in this town again.
Yeah, and I wish I had never worked in this town again. After Tim Davis. Come on, $60. Okay, yeah, you know what? Let me fucking put down the keys to my new El Dorado. What a guinea I was. When I first started making extra money in my life, like good money, first car I buy, first new car, black on black Eldo, Jersey plates, had it shipped out to Beverly Hills for the first year in Norm.
Wow.
I cut Spade off in Beverly Hills. I didn't know Spade was in a Range Rover. I didn't know it was him. And I'd done the movie with him. I should have put out an album of voicemail Spade left for me, cutting me down. They were so funny. He goes, hey Lucchese, you cut me off today in Beverly Hills. Do you understand how much bigger I am in show business? If you do that again, I'm having you and your fucking consigliere escorted out. Oh, so fucking funny. The first time I texted Spade, and by accident I thought I was texting some fucking stripper whore, or whatever, like a chick. And I put LOL. I put LOL, which means, of course, laugh out loud. After something I said, and Spade text back. First of all, if something's funny, I'll let you know. And it's true. Think about that. This whole generation is so full. Think about LOL. Think about the concept of that. This whole generation texts something and then tells you it's funny. Not just funny, laughing out loud funny. Great observation, Mario. Your thoughts? See if you can tag that with a shitty joke. You punch down a script, Mario.
He's gonna hit the button anyway.
No, we're not going to do that. You know, you make a lot of money punching down scripts, like producer stuff, like make scripts that are funny, unfunny. Could you make a script funny, unfunny?
No.
You can make a podcast funny, unfunny, I'll tell you that.
Then why do you invite me every week?
I don't know, because I made a promise to the god.
Which god?
I am the god of hellfire. I'm kidding, dude. You know I love you. You know I love you.
All right.
About Mario Artie tribute. Where did we first meet?
San Gennaro Feast.
No.
No, well, come on.
Right.
Screening of Love, 1,000 More Times Brutal.
No.
Yeah.
Another Kamal movie, the one I paid for.
Oh, Uncle Freddie?
No, he did a movie called Shittiest Movie Ever, I think it was called. I don't know. No, it was a movie about the Wild Wild West or some shit. I don't know. I walked out of the screening. But he introduced me to you. And I had seen you somewhere and thought you were, I liked you. I thought you were funny. And then, you know, like sometimes your heroes disappoint you.
Well, I wasn't disappointed the other night.
What are you talking about?
With Mike
Are you still
Bocchetti.
bragging about Bocchetti?
Yeah.
Dude, that wasn't exactly Carlin at Carnegie.
I felt like I needed that, like the FBI, the dip light, you know, put it in his face.
Nobody even knows what you're talking about. You're fucking delusional.
You know, when the
No, I don't know.
The FBI, they sit you in the corner. And
Female body inspector?
They lift the light, they dip it in your eyes.
Yeah, I know. Okay, wait on. Boy, it's abrupt the way that stops. Yeah, I know, Matt. You did a good job the other night. But what do you want, a medal? You keep. Hey, you weren't disappointed the other night. You're like Hillary Clinton. Anybody see that podcast last night? Anybody see me take Bocchetti down? Like you're not exactly taking out a young Albert Brooks. Anybody see me out with Bocchetti? Anybody see me out debate? Mike, fucking think tank Bocchetti. You last week 2 people out debated him. You and that broom right there. You and the Ottoman. Mike got outwitted by the Ottoman. Dan's windbreaker outfit it was on the back of the chair. Your shirt that you got me that I can't wait to give to somebody else. You know what? Let me try it on. I'm going to try it on right now. I'm going to do that. Let's take a. You guys want to keep talking to him? You Mario, see, I'm going to let you run the show while I put your stupid shirt on. Because I want to see if it fits. You know, I guarantee you're not thoughtful. You probably just bought it. I guarantee it doesn't fit. And then what do? How do I treat you nicely?
2X, he said.
Who, Dan?
Don't say that over the air.
Oh, no, he's right. It is 2X. Right.
Yeah.
What do you think? I would buy you something that don't fit?
You wouldn't buy me anything. That's the point.
Oh, stop.
You stole a robe you tried to sell for $2,500. You made my bed unfunny at the Borgata. The Portuguese chick was fucking bored. Not for my cock. All right, I'm going to go try your shirt on. I'm going to let you run the podcast. See if you could run. If you could get one laugh, and don't be funny, guys. Try to really make him be funny. These guys are funny. They're going to be your sidekick. You have to be funny here. Don't look at your phone.
Yeah, no, let's let him read some of the jokes that Vinny wrote.
Vinny Monroy jokes?
Sure.
All right. What if Dan pull up the Norman jokes in a book? I'll go. You know, I got the book inside. Okay. I'll get it. You try to be funny with him while you look up Vinny Monroy. I'm going to try your shirt on and get real jokes from Norm Macdonald's book. Norm put this is so great. Norm put the top 20 Weekend Update jokes while he was there. 25. I told you the other one about Yippee.
Yeah.
Oh God. Frank Sebastiano joke. All right. I'm going to get that. Put your shirt on and you do Vinny Monroy. Try to be funny. Does anyone think he could run a funny podcast?
Yes.
I doubt it.
If you can, I'm overpaid.
I doubt it.
All right. Hit it.
All right, let me find the Vinny Monroy.
We'll say something else funny in the meantime because this is a lot of dead air.
I'm going to have to do a lot of editing.
You can hear the distance people clicking.
What do you want me to say? That my mother hates me? That she doesn't want me in the house no more? That I'm a degenerato disgraziato?
Are you reading off that now? Because that
No.
is not work. Oh.
You will not suck bigger dick.
I don't suck any dick.
Yeah, that's how I heard.
Oh, that's too bad. And I can't find the jokes that Vinny Monroy.
With nuts.
Whatever.
You get M&M's without nuts. With my nuts.
All right, I got a joke.
All right.
All right.
Okay,
Awesome.
let's see it. See if I can find it.
Speaking of politics.
So,
Speaking of Antarctica.
come on. So this guy Marty.
He just told you to pipe down.
What?
No, go ahead.
Come on.
So this guy Marty finally came home from rehab, right? So about a month later, his wife Peggy calls the doctor and says, Doctor, we have a serious problem. He goes, what is wrong now? He goes, my husband, he's drinking more now than before. The doctor goes, well, at least he's staying hydrated.
What? Wait, he's shrinking?
He was a drinker.
Oh, he's drinking.
So now he went to rehab. He came home and he started again, but heavier. And she called the doctor and she said, Doctor, my husband is drinking heavier than before.
He's keeping hydrated. It sounds sometimes when you talk, it sounds like he was shrinking.
No,
not
it's not
drinking.
shrinking. He was drinking.
Just like when you said you were watching Spaceballs.
And doctor said, well, at least he's staying hydrated.
Well, thank you for repeating the joke.
Yeah.
Well, now I understand, but it's not really hydrated. You know, when you're alcohol, it's not really hydrating you.
It actually dehydrates you, so
Yeah.
the joke doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But
Do you have
he's
another
drinking.
One?
We didn't
But that's the same joke that you told the last show, so...
Right.
Oh, do you got something else?
Write that down for Sarah Silverman. You might want to get rid of that
That
one.
joke?
Yeah.
Which one?
The one you just said. The one you repeated and
actually
told
think
us
that-
why it was funny.
Do you actually think that we would do that?
Okay, I gotta tell you, when people come to my house, they bring their own aqua salsa. Because the way my mother cooks, you be leaving farting and shitting all the way to the car.
Did you make that up? Well, yeah, but how is that funny? Your mother's a bad cook?
Yeah, that's the punchline.
Well, how's that a punchline, though? I mean, just
When people come to my house for dinner, they bring their own Alka-Seltzer.
Well, but I bring my own Alka-Seltzer when I go to anybody's
But you're
house.
a Jew. All Jews bring their own Alka-Seltzer.
Wow. That's true. I see your point. So you're saying that your mother's such a bad cook that even Italians have to bring Alka-Seltzer to
the table.
Wow.
Plus, again, you mispronounced Alka-Seltzer the first time, so I got
Alka-Seltzer.
well, is it Alka-Seltzer, whatever. I think that's a lot of the problem. Sometimes you can't understand what you have to enunciate a little bit. I'm just trying to help.
Okay.
Do you have anything else?
Dave's going to want to book you for his podcast.
The one that he has 3 people? No, thank you.
Oh, look at this guy.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't need to go on any podcast that only has 3 people.
Yes, maybe you do,
And
though. You
one-
just need to keep working.
And one of the 3 is his mother listening because she feels bad.
No, my mother hates my show. I rag on her all the time. She told me she would never listen again. And
I don't
even though we
blame her.
told her what was wrong with her, when I had my niece, she's like, I don't know why they don't come to visit. And on my podcast, my niece said, we don't go to visit because she doesn't have any food in the house. So all she had to do was go get food in the house, and they would have come to visit. But then she decided not to listen to the podcast anymore. But she heard that episode, but still doesn't have food in the house. So then she's like, why didn't you come to visit? Like, they told you why they don't come to visit. You don't have fresh food in the house. You have stuff from the 80s, which gives us all food poisoning. You're an asshole. I got to relax.
Wow.
I know. Sorry, I get very upset.
That's
The
how
worst
you
Jewish
talk
mother
about-
ever.
That's how you talk about your mother, you
Wow.
piece of shit, desgraciada.
Yeah, that's right. Don't judge me.
I'm not
I talk
ju-
about my mother like that. Maybe she is a piece of shit.
Subscribe to the Artie Lang Uncensored podcast at artiequitter.com.
It's definitely blue on blue. Chicago Cubs and the Los Angeles Dodgers at the World Series. Why? You're not happy?
You could make that exciting game and score.
Why
Four.
is he playing this? Are you not happy the Cubs are going to be playing Los Angeles
Why
Dodgers?
would he be happy about that?
They're blue on blue.
Yeah, because that's what chicks do, the colors. Who cares about the colors? Not the color, it's the colors. By the way, okay, there's an update. The Dodgers did win. Jusko's down $80,000. He bets every inning. No,
Sometimes I do.
2 things to report. Okay, well, obviously, maybe 3, but the Dodgers won. So Dodgers Cubs, Danny.
Dodgers
In
Cubs.
best of 7. So the Dodger blue, to borrow a narrative from Mario, is the only thing in the way of the Cubbies and the first World Series since when? 1945?
1945.
They haven't been to the World Series since
Right.
1940.
That's when the guy brought
Wow.
the goat. Supposedly the goat is the thing.
How do you like that?
Yeah, how do you like them apples? And do you think Bartman goes? Bartman has to go.
No way.
They
He
ride
wouldn't
him
be
out
seen dead.
on a
No.
goat. They ride him out on a goat and Beats by Dre headsets.
Well, I told you that time, he should have started getting a job for the Marlins. That then just been like, fuck
That's
you,
what I mean.
Chicago.
Well, look, that's the thing. That's the difference in fortune. Remember, in 1996, 12-year-old kid named Jeffrey Mayer.
Yep, changed the whole.
Really interfered. And Derek Jeter, touched by God, basically hits a pop-up to right field. Okay? Pop-up. And this is the narrative of his whole career. He wins Rookie of the Year in 96. First year in the league. Rookie of the fucking year. Hits .314 in the fucking playoffs against the Orioles. Pops the ball up to the short porch and right. Running out of real estate. The right fielder for the Orioles, I forget who it was. Some Spanish guy. Looks up, and a 12-year-old white kid, pure white. He was in the front row, of course. And leans over with his glove and does the dream thing. He catches not a foul ball, a home fucking run. He snatches an out away from the Orioles, makes it a home run. And Jeter, does he say, oh, you know what, I feel terrible in the fucking, I want everything to be fair. Okay, Marcus Queensberry rules. No, he fucking defiantly puts up his mulatto fist.
Oh, geez.
Okay, and says, that's right, Mr. Lang. It's fucking more for the tickets now, and I'm half black.
And that kid, Jeffrey Mayer, changed the fortune of the New York Yankees.
That's right.
For the next 10 years.
He did. You're right. And
It's
right
unbelievable.
Right now, he currently lives under a bridge.
Actually, have you seen pictures of him? He's like 22 now. It's,
no, not 22 now. He's 30. He's 40. He was like,
No, I don't think so. Maybe he's not 22, but he plays
35.
baseball. Oh, is he?
What year are you living in? It was 1996. 10 years. They did him 10 years later in 2006. They had a story on him.
Oh,
He
right.
played ball for a college. He was pretty good.
Right, he played ball for
He was
college.
a prospect.
Right. That's probably the picture I
They
saw.
pushed him through as a single A guy. It was a story.
I
But
see.
now he's like 35 years old.
So he didn't
Do the
make it as a
math.
ball player.
I think he was 13. So he's about 33 years old.
Oh, that's okay.
Same age of Belushi, Farley, and Jesus were when they died.
Oh.
So Jeffrey Mayer leans over. The ball is clearly in play.
Yep.
The ball is in play. It's past the warning track line, and he snatches it away. And everyone hugs him and loves him. And the difference, the flip coin of that, is Steve, I'm a loser Bartman.
No.
Steve, I'm a loser Cub fan Bartman with my nerdy glasses and my fucking headsets on.
His headset.
Making Jimmy Iovine a little fucking richer. And he fucking takes the ball away from a Cub. A Cub.
And they end up losing the series.
And right.
And never going back.
And Lou is so Spanish and over exaggerates. Like Charles Durning says in Dog Day Afternoon, you got his girlfriend there. You're not a Spanish, huh?
And they didn't go back until last year, right? To the playoffs, to the
No,
ALCS
90.
or-
2009 we played
They
the Dodgers.
shit. They've had the stench of
you
shit.
did? Oh, you played the Dodgers 2009?
Yeah, we lost in
More importantly, 84.
2008, 2009.
84. I'm a senior in high school. October baseball.
Wait, let me remember.
84. I turned 17.
Was that?
You don't know.
I don't know.
They get in the
trying to
playoffs.
figure
National League Championship Series. Or as Keith Jackson said, the National League Championship Series. I'm
they
Keith
did
Jackson
84?
here at the Houston Astrodome.
In 84?
San Diego
Yes.
Padres. The Garvey Gwynn Padres.
Oh.
Okay, Garvey.
And we lose the game at Wrigley. We
right.
had the better record
right.
because of no lights.
But they destroyed them. They were
What do you mean
killing
because
them.
of no lights?
Because there were no lights at Wrigley Field, so we lost the game.
Wait.
Peter Uberoff,
There were no lights in 84?
No.
When did they get lights?
88.
No
They were
kidding.
forced to get it too, right?
Yeah,
By the league.
They were forced.
The point is, Dan, if Dan didn't bitch about that, I'd be finished with the story.
Sorry. Probably have
No
my fault,
fucking
too.
lights. There were no lights.
I was
because
just trying to
of
guess who it was who won that year, and I can't remember. It's not the Royals, is
fucking
it?
Detroit. I was at the game.
Oh.
Here's a story.
Sparky.
Another great Artie Lang story. We got it for the documentary. We got to do this. By the way,
thought that was
I was
83.
approached. People are doing a document. Did I tell you that?
No.
A production company, a very legit production company, who just did a documentary on Burt Young. Every 3 years, they allot $2.5 million in a budget to do a documentary about one person in show business or in life. They pick a fascinating person. Again, Dorfman said these people want to talk to you, and we checked them out. They're legit. They came and pitched to me. They are going to spend their board of directors picked me as the most fascinating person to spend $2.5 million on and do a documentary. So we checked them out. They're completely legit, and they want to start immediately. I'm just trying to figure out a downside to it.
Really?
I would have a $2.5 million film made that is going to be a 90-minute long in theaters. They think Sundance is interested.
I think that's a great idea.
Well, they're doing a documentary on my life. They read the two books, and they go, I go, really? I said, is that good or bad? They go, well, no, you're going to have final draft. Like, if I don't like something, it's out. So they're going to interview all you guys. Well, not. No, Mario, would you do me the honor of doing my interview in my documentary?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, now, here's the thing. I don't want
I'm going to put a bullet through his head, that motherfucker.
Here's the
No.
question. Does it look like? I mean, they approached me. Do I look obnoxious saying yes to this? I mean,
No.
It's a great thing to have, first of all, because it's like, but they're going to pick all the scars. It's fascinating because of the good and the bad. You might say mostly because of the bad. So there's no. In other words, I'm asking my friends. What are the downsides I'm missing? Are there any to this? Because they're big
Okay,
fans.
all right.
They're big
There
fans.
is
They're very into it.
There is a tiny, really smidgen downside.
I want to hear
There
it.
is a flip side to this coin.
I want to hear it.
But no, there is a downside. You're the kind of person that could possibly watch this movie and then get very depressed.
No, well, here's the thing. I have Final Cut.
Yeah, I know, but it's
But
still.
if something is bad, I won't watch it. I'll say out. It's out. Like Dan's part.
That's the only thing that would worry me. Otherwise, I can't wait to watch it.
Well,
Like, I
you're
mean,
going to be
I
in it,
mean-
jerk off. You're part of it. The night with the cocaine bullet, you're putting.
Oh God, I forgot. Oh
we
no,
gotta get Jen.
my mother will watch that.
We gotta get Jen and Benjamin back.
So she won't listen to your podcast, but she'll watch this documentary?
Yeah, probably.
Now, is that something at the age of 49 I should be flattered by?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah, because they're not saying we
two
want
and
to
a half-
make fun
two
of
and a half-
you.
No, they're not. That's definitely right there. That's
And
not
there's
the vibe.
and there's a happy ending.
They think I'm
What's
cool.
the happy ending?
I'm alive.
Oh,
I mean, this podcast.
who else have they done? Besides, you said Burt Young,
Burt Young
right?
and
Jesus.
Well, no. She did the password. She did the password.
Oh, I think that's funny.
He's like,
That would
he's
be
like,
funny.
I guess Jesus.
They're not
Jesus and
exploiting
you.
you.
Who else?
Burt Young and there was one other actor they mentioned. What the fuck was that guy?
Sammy Davis?
No. Burt Young is interesting because he went to Juilliard and was a dancer.
Oh, that is interesting.
Like, he's
I
got
didn't know
his,
that.
and,
That's fascinating.
They did him, but this is like the biggest budget they've had. They said we're going to spend $2.5 million, and I have the whole. They sent me an outline about what they want to talk about. I have to. It's actually going to be a major. They're going to come in here and film this. Like when you guys are here, they'll be filming. They're going to my old high school. They're going to see me do stand-up gigs. They're going to go. This corner of 9th and 44th where I first did stand-up at the old Improv.
The Improv, yeah.
Giovanni's now. They'll talk to Tim Davis.
They still have the wall, though.
Tim Davis about that night.
And the best part is you could tell them what you don't like. Like if you feel it's exploiting you.
Yeah, well, I got a feeling the phone call will be like, okay, Art, no Mario, he's out.
All right, then he's out.
Oh, shut up. What the fucking thing so sad? Okay, Art. You're Mario Downer.
Do you remember the Larry Sanders show where he was reading his own biography and
Yeah.
he started getting upset? Remember the only person that could get him out of his hole was Marley Maitland?
I know.
Remember she knocked on the door and he said, Marley?
Molly?
But
No,
that's the only thing that worries me.
Well, I got it's that. Okay, that's
As a friend to you.
Jesus. That's all I can think about. Dance pass progressive. I guess you and Jesus, Mr. Important. Look, if I was willing to fucking throw my people under the bus, they'd do a documentary about me. Sure, I thought about doing stuff like gambling and doing drugs, but I was responsible. So I guess I'm not getting a documentary. Fuck you. I'm not a heroin addict. Boo-hoo! I chose not to be funny on Doll. I chose to be boring. That was a choice. But, listen, I told my mother, she's very excited about it. She thinks it's flattering. And the people are definitely fans. So I think it's I know what you're saying, but I don't know. I got to make up my mind.
That's the day you go back on Howard to promote. Oh, my God, that would be unbelievable.
Here's the thing. What's fascinating is, and they go, we have to talk to Howard. I go, he's not going to talk to you. They go, he's a decade of your life. It's all.
You really don't think he'll talk?
No, Howard doesn't. Howard has lost his mind. I think my old friend Howard and the old he was my hero and became a coworker and became a friend, and I think he's lost his mind. If the stories I hear are accurate, now I don't know, because some of them I listen to the show and I think Howard sounds as funny as ever. Wait, look, I don't.
It sounds as funny, but some of the things he says, I think you might be right.
I don't listen a lot because it is painful for me. Not because I'm so cool. I don't want to hear it. But every time I do listen, every instinct I have to say something. Like if I was sitting in a chair, I'd get fired for that. And I don't listen a lot, so I don't hear Ellen DeGeneres. He loves her dancing, and that is sickening. I couldn't imagine. That seems apocryphal. But they won't. He will not talk to them. I guarantee he won't. He didn't accept advertising for my book. Not him reading it. Just he wouldn't even hear the commercial. The book company. It was my second book was done by a division of Simon & Schuster, as big a company as they get. Touchstone, Disney. And they said, Art, our advertising department, we've never had a company turn down money. We were going to give them money, top dollar, to air a commercial for your book. A 30-second pre-taped commercial. He turned us down of having you in, of course. They turned us down for him saying it live. And they turned us down for a tape of a commercial about your book on the Stern Show, which, of course, would do a lot for sales, and they know it. So they clearly don't want it to do well. And he probably just doesn't want you to come up. It's as if you don't exist. It's different than hating me. Howard is pretending I don't exist.
He wrote you off.
And there was a day where that got to me. But it is so liberating. I've never been more happy now in my life, especially professionally. I mean, you know, personally, a lot of it has to do with the life partnership of Dan Filoni. No, because I stopped caring because he's clearly a lunatic, and everybody, I feel bad for him. The way he fired all the E Channel guys, someone this broad brainwashed him.
Oh, I didn't. He fired all those E Channel guys.
Let them go.
I didn't know that.
It wasn't like but they were there 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years, they were his soldiers, man. Those television guys, like I said, I loved hanging out with them. They were like pirates, drunken pirates. In Vegas, we had a blast. A blast. And I did all those remotes, that Queer Eye for the Straight Guy remote. Oh, I'm with all them that day. It's a show that only exists in a memory. And Howard is the brilliant star that put it together, but he, I don't know what his agenda is. He could be the one guy who goes, hey, PC police, fuck off. Yeah. I could still say whatever I want. I'm saying Gary the retard. I'm not changing it to Gary the conqueror, by the way. What? I don't have to tell 52 cat stories. I don't give a shit if Gwyneth Paltrow's on my show. I'll interview Beetlejuice again and make $100 million a year, more than you ever make. And my fans will like me better. And I'll run things as an A-lister. And fuck a hot chick. I'll do everything you have to do. But the difference is, you have to kiss ass. You have to say African American. I could say black guy. I'm Howard Stern. Instead, he does the PC thing voluntarily. Voluntarily. He goes fucking without a fight. He says, thank you, Your Honor, puts his head down and walks into the fucking jail cell. He doesn't look at Sammy the Bull Gravano and goes, you watch yourself. Like Gotti did. Right?
Right.
Goes in. He blasted through those fucking doors and those windows. He was the kid looking in on show business. He was looking in like Dustin Hoffman at the end of The Graduate. And he sees Jennifer Aniston having fucking dinner at her wedding. And he's like making fun of them. And we're his stupid fans. We're going, yeah, fuck her. Break down that glass door. Because when you break down that glass door, we're going to all run in with you. You'll be our leader. And we're going to sit at the table and have a spitball fight. We are the caddies in Caddyshack. They're Ted Knight. Do you get it? $10, the Smales kid picks his nose. $10, Jennifer Aniston picks it out. And David Schwimmer eats it.
Oh, God.
That's what we thought. It was a revolution, and we didn't have to take a pay cut for it. Well, Howard didn't. It was so much fun. We were rock and roll. So what happens? He bursts through that door, and instead of doing that thing we just said, like, fuck you, he sits down and he goes, Jennifer, can I please go to your wedding? He fucking becomes one of them. And that means all these years when we were laughing at The Rebel, when we were laughing at Hunter S. Thompson, when we were laughing at, he was our guy. He was the Hunter S. Thompson of fucking radio. He was the guy who's going to go in and tell you to fuck off. All those years we looked like the boobs because all those years he wanted to be at the table. He didn't want to fucking set the table on fire. That's what I wanted to do. Of course, heroin took that out. And no, he sat down and said, I'm one of you now. What do I need to do? Guess what? They should be thrilled they're hanging out with you. That's the difference. He broke down and he said, I always loved Ellen DeGeneres' dancing. Really? I seem like a dick. Artie's an idiot for thinking it's stupid. Oh, no, I look forward to her dancing. Really? Really? No. That's what happened. That's what happened. So, I can't care anymore. I stopped caring. So that's why, in this documentary, when they say, will Howard talk? I have to say no. And they'll say, why? Because I'm not allowed at Jennifer Aniston's wedding. I'm not allowed at Ellen DeGeneres' dance party. No. I'm not allowed at P. Diddy's white party in South fucking Hampton. Because I might make a racial joke about P. Diddy and a white party. Something we did 10 years ago. That's not allowed now. I might say Gary the retard instead of Gary the fucking conqueror. But Gary the retard's got to be so confused, by the way. I want to be the retard conqueror. Every time he called up, I would say, "Oh, retard." Oh, Conqueror. Doesn't sound the same. I guarantee you, by the way, Fred, secretly, I'm talking to you, Fred. If you're hearing this, I know. I know. You don't have to say anything. I know. I remember those conversations. Drunk in Vegas. I remember. I'm sorry, Fred. And you're doing the right thing. You have a beautiful child. Get those paychecks. But I know. And Gary, I know. I know, Gary. I know. Are you at the wedding in Malibu? Oh, no, Gary. No. Okay. Where are you? Oh, okay. What about you, Fred? No, you're not at the wedding? Oh, okay. You know, out there. That's great. What about you, Scott? Did you? No, okay. Okay, that's great. Benji, of course not. No. You're not cool enough. You're not in the in crowd. He is now. So, no. The answer is no. He will not be speaking on the fucking documentary. And guess what? I'm over it. If that's a game changer, if that's a deal breaker, you can't do it, don't do it. And you might think out there, you people who don't get it, that I'm insulting Howard right now. That's where you're wrong. That's where you don't get it. I'm giving him the biggest compliment on the planet. He's the only guy who could have said, fuck you. I don't want to sit at your table. I think Ellen's dancing is stupid. When James Corden opens his fat fucking mouth to do karaoke in a car, something that wouldn't be funny to fucking secretaries at an accounting firm, and gets an Emmy for it, I'm allowed to say he sucks. And seems effeminate. But instead, everybody's great. I got 1 million cats. I'm breeding cats. Need I say more? I listened once. Richard Christie came in. His pet guinea pig died. And nobody made fun of him. He was crying because his pet guinea pig died. And he was reading stuff on Twitter where people were clearly goofing on him. And nobody goofed back. Do you know why? Because Howard cried when his cat died. And now he'd be a hypocrite. And I thought, what if me and Gilbert were in the studio, and in the old days, on the old show, and Richard Christie came in and said his guinea pig died? 3 hours of nonstop, 3 hours of nonstop abuse and laughter. Richard Christie might have moved back to Kansas. No, we don't get that now. We don't get that now. Instead, we get Chelsea Handler talking about what it was like to go on vacation with Howard. Oh, God. Do you think I want to be there and listen to Gwyneth Paltrow talk about her $200 green drink that she sells in Southampton? I don't think so. Could I have sat there? Could the Artie Lang you know guys have sat there and said, yeah, I'd love to try that? No. I would have fucking taken out my dick and took a leak on her.
Oh, God.
I would have urinated on Gwyneth Paltrow. He doesn't get Gwyneth Paltrow if I'm still there. Is anybody in her camp going to let her within a foot of me? No. And she would have to sit within a foot of me. A foot of the Grimace, literally going, show us your tits! The Grimace who needs a shave. Let me tell you something. My favorite moment in the history of me being on the show. Kathy Griffin came on and was almost in tears, talking about how when she got nominated for an Emmy, she called her mom because her and her mother bonded when she was a child over the fact that one day she might win an Emmy. And as she's saying that, I'm on heroin and nodding off and snoring. Yeah, Howard, I told my mother. It's the single funniest thing in the history of radio. She goes, does he have to be in here, Howard? Howard makes me go in the other room. We kicked her makeup people out because she was going to the Today Show. And makeup people were there. Do you know what Kathy Griffin looks like without makeup?
No.
Put it this way. The Today Show would not have put her on. Because of children watching. They put me in the green room, kicked out her makeup team, and I slept till 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, my God.
I made $950,000 that year on the stage. Do you understand what I'm saying? What happened to those days? They're gone. They're gone. So I'm going out with a fucking boom. They can make this documentary. They can make it. And I'll keep coming in here and doing this podcast on the couch and keep saying shit that I want to say. I may have 4 listeners, but guess what? I'm saying the same shit. I didn't change. I'm still the fucking anti-war hippie. I'm not a yuppie. Desgraciado. I'm still me. A nearly broke junkie who used to live with a fucking hot blonde at Arizona 9. I now live with Dan Filato from Chicago with hairy arms and a worse back. And what do I keep? My integrity.
Amen.
Thank you. My integrity. So you take your Howard and his stories about going to the white party in Southampton and the wedding and how him and fucking Orlando Bloom are bros. There was a story he's having a bromance with Orlando Bloom. I almost fucking threw up while I was jumping off the balcony. A bromance with her. You keep that world. Your world of this, that, the other thing. Your world with Neil Patrick Harris is your generation's Clint fucking Eastwood. I'm gone. Sayonara. Sayonara. I'm out of here. We used to sleep outside to get Springsteen tickets. Yeah. You're sleeping outside to get fucking tickets for Nick Kroll opening up for Aziz Ansari. I'm gone. I'm gone. Sam Kinison used to do stories about Rock Hudson sucking it was trying to figure out which cock he sucked gave him fucking the HIV. That was on a Grammy album. You're getting stories about brunch with Chelsea Handler. And with that, I'll say goodbye. David, any
You got to finish the.
Dan, does Dan have the
You
worst
told me to remind you.
The worst timing ever. We'll do it another show, too. The end of the story, Dan wants to know the end of the fucking cabbie story. Why do you have a hard on for that, by the way?
Because you told me to remind you.
The one time he remembers to remind me, it's like the story should have just ended there. I'm doing a soliloquy. Would it be at the end of the... Absolutely no timing. And with that, I'll say goodbye. What about that story about the car wash? We're a regular Abbott and Costello. Okay. Here's the end of the story. Crazy Cabbie got in trouble because he was shooting porn in Howard's studio. He brought Ron Jeremy in there. There used to be an OJ mask, a black OJ. You remember that mask?
Yes.
Okay. Ron Jeremy fucked OJ's mouth.
Oh, God.
And Howard saw that and got mad.
How do you see it?
Oh, because someone sent him the tape. Funny, though. Funniest thing I ever saw Ron Jeremy do. And that's the end of the story then.
Yeah.
So that was smooth. Literally, that's the closest I've come to Incident on 57th Street Live. And with that, I'll say goodbye, guys. Thank you. What about that time you had what about the time? You remember? Krabby? By the way, first time he's remembered to remind me about something. We were supposed to talk about my high school graduation for 4 years. I'm kidding. Thank you, Dan. No, it's good. That works good with the audio thing. I wanted to tell that. But, I mean, you make it sound like the greatest story ever told. Are you going to remind me about something before I go to the plugs? Are we done now? Let's go to the plugs. Wait a minute. One other thing I've got written down here. How about that time you said you thought it was a herpy on your lip for tomorrow? Okay. You want to plug something? The football show.
No, but I really think you should edit after he says so long. I mean, it says it was perfect.
Oh no! What do you want to comment on that? You're a big Stern fan.
No, I didn't want to comment.
No, I'm saying, am I accurate though?
No, you're absolutely accurate.
I'm accurate, right?
Yeah. It's different.
We thought he wanted to fucking say this entire time he wanted to be at the fucking table.
Well, it makes a lot of sense what you're saying, and that you're absolutely right. The entire time, that's all he's ever wanted to be. It makes so much sense. But the fact that he doesn't kind of acknowledge that is what makes it not as good as it used to be.
He's being what he made fun of being phony.
You're phony. Yeah.
He's being phony. There's a chick who runs that show who no one's allowed to bring up on the air. That was Howard's biggest thing. Like when we went to Sirius, Scott Greenstein, who runs the place, who I actually do like. He's always been real nice to me. But Scott brought me and Fred and Gary up. Just the three of us. Specifically because he was right, I guess, and at the time we had the most influence. Guy-wise, of course, Robin had the most. But as far as that guy talk thing where you bust balls on what happened on the air, and Scott did not want to become Tom Chiasano. He was deathly afraid of that, Greenstein. He goes, I can't be that guy, so when Howard, I don't want to be talked about on the air, so you guys got to help me with that. Like, steer him when he brings... And we go, yeah. And, of course, we walk out and go, yeah, is he kidding? Is he kidding? First of all, Howard knew about that meeting. If you're listening, you might find that for the first time. He'd have had Scott thrown out of the fucking window. I talked about it. So the first day, Scott Greenstein up. Because that was Howard. Full disclosure. Full fucking transparency. Like you fucking people watching the campaigns, that word, transparency. That was Howard. That was the whole thing. You pull the curtain back on all the pretentious, pompous, phony bullshit. You say Dad has hairy legs. No. I'm saying, Chiasano and all these motherfuckers, how about Kevin Smith, the director, got mad at the show. Big fan, because he got goofed on about something. Well, the rules apply to you too, pal. Then don't call in. A lot of celebrities would get mad. Well, what show you been listening to? You get goofed on too, motherfucker. When I got that job, he was very nice to me in that honeymoon period, but I knew it was coming. Oh, it was coming. And then when he goofed, then you're in the club. Then it's like, now it's the show. So there's a woman, basically, who took over Gary's office. For years, Gary needed more room in that office. Everyone said no. A chick came in, a 34-year-old redhead came in, who basically read a book that Howard liked. And said, Howard, I get you. Fooled him. Howard had the most impressive brain I've ever met. He was like just a thinker beyond belief. He should be telling her how to live life. He's a billionaire. He started with nothing. He came from nothing on Roosevelt. The other celebrities, this is all you need to know. The other celebrities from Roosevelt, Long Island are Howard, Eddie Murphy, and Flavor Flav. I think Dr. J. Okay. You think it's a self-made kind of town? He's a brilliant guy. And this chick who read a book called Getting Things Done is telling him how to live his life, telling people that you can't talk to Howard unless you talk to me first. You need permission to talk to Howard. These are guys who worked with him for 20 years. You got to. Did you imagine? If someone told me that, first day I would go. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, first day, Mrs. Cunt. No, it's Artie. Is this Mrs. Cunt?
I met her when I did the wrap-up show last month, and she's hot.
Of course she's hot.
Fuck.
Of course she's hot. When a 34-year-old hot chick who's 20 years younger than Gary Delabate gets his office and makes it bigger.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah,
it's got to be difficult.
And may or may not be getting more money. And Gary, once again, gets emasculated.
Poor guy.
Gary's a great guy. And he's smart. Well, I thought he was a great guy. No, he's smart. He's smart. He's making a lot of money. Look, Gary, under constant pressure, produced the greatest radio show ever. Under constant fire. So Gary, gets a lot of credit in my book. And Gary was very instrumental in getting me that show. And it was a time I'd take a bullet for him. But everybody gets a little weird in the end, man. It's clear that Howard read that book and for some reason wanted the show to go in that direction. I admit I did not fit in that. I would never fit in that. So he had an awkward situation going on. How do I somehow get rid of Artie? Because I want to do a show where I can have Brad Pitt and Gwyneth Paltrow. And he kind of said, look, I've mastered this kind of radio that Artie fits into because Artie was one of my disciples. I went in there. I was a fan who got that job, which is why I was popular with fans because I wasn't funnier than anybody trying to get that job or more talented. I was a guy who knew the show. I was a real fucking fan. My old man climbed roofs for a living. And he came in one day and he said, look, I was 13. He said, summer of 82. He said, you got to come to work with me the next day and climb roofs with me because we're going to drive to each job and put MEC on. You got to hear this guy. He's hilarious. My father had that conversation with me. We've bonded on two things, me and my old man. The Yankees and the Howard Stern show. Think about that. When he was a quadriplegic after falling off one of those roofs, the only thing that made him laugh was the Stern show. And I would say out loud to him, God, I'd love to be a comic and be on that show. We'd listen to Gilbert do the news. About 8 years later, I was sitting there with Gilbert doing the news. My dad was dead. It's an American story. That's why these guys, that's the documentary. They like that story. It is kind of crazy. What a coincidence. We sent away, we had an auction for my old man to raise money. He was a quadriplegic. To raise money, we were broke. We were on welfare. We couldn't sue anybody because my father stole the ladder he fell off of. A lawyer was smelling money. We fell off a house that had no homeowner's insurance. Old guy had $200,000 to his name. The lawyer said he was a shark dealer. He goes, listen, we'll get the money from him. My mother goes, that's all the money the guy has in the world. She goes, I'm not doing that. I'm not suing him. And my mother was that kind of person. I'm not putting that kind of karma out there. That's terrible. He goes, we'll sue the ladder company. They always have a lot of money. And my father looked at me and I looked at my mother. I said, who's going to tell him? I went over to the lawyer and said he stole the ladder. It says Bell Atlantic on it. The ladder said Bell Atlantic on it. The lawyer, it was so funny, like out of a movie. The lawyer calmly closed his briefcase and said, good luck, guys. We were on welfare. So we had an auction. We sent away to, we fucking wrote notes to all local celebrities, the Giants, the Jets, the Yankees, and the Howard Stern Show. One person replied, Howard. They sent us a 92.3 K-Rock satin jacket. And this is 1987. I was 19. The same year I tried stand-up for the first time. And we auctioned it off. Got good money for it. And my cousin had it on tape. She taped all the shows on a cassette. I'm 19 and we hear this. Howard goes, talks about us on the air. Gary said, by the way, that quadriplegic guy, your jacket, and he sold it. Howard said, does that guy think if he wears it, he's going to walk again? We were part of the show. Wow. He didn't know he was talking about a guy who was going to, make him happy and then ruin his life. Think about it. I couldn't have dreamed of that job because who would have known it was even a job? Who knew Jackie would quit the show the same exact year a sitcom I was on got canceled, so I was free to come home, blah, 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 blah. The planets were aligned. And I got a job as a co-host. My father, I've said this as a joke, but it's dead true. My father would have been less proud of me if I was a U.S. Senator. It would have been a dream of his, more than mine. I sat 3 feet from the greatest guy to ever do radio for 8.5 years. I learned a lot from the guy. See how I'm ignoring Mario? You go away from the weakness. No, I'm kidding. I'm just saying, I'm busting chops here, but come on. This guy's a genius. What did this chick have to where Gary gets his office taken away? I couldn't have done it. So Howard had to figure out, because I was kind of popular with the fans because I was one of them. How do I get rid of Artie? Because he doesn't fit in to the Gwyneth Paltrow show. And I don't want to fit in, is the point. I love being an outlaw. I wanted to be Kinnison and you. So, I still plan on living till 49. Kinnison checked out at 38. I'm going broke here. No. But, whatever. Dave gets it. He's a big fan. He understands it. It's a crazy story. It's kind of a cool American story. We were on welfare, and I got into comedy, and got my mother out of it. And the show that made me go into the stratosphere as far as I'm going to get ever to the B- list was Stern.
Besides knowing you before that and after,
right.
in between, when we, weren't acquainted at the time,
right?
You really I know I've told you this on the podcast when we first started. You really became my favorite character on that show, and when you would be out,
right,
it was heartbreaking.
A completely
for me.
different
I'm
show.
talking about like just when you were sick,
right,
one day, not just after.
Right.
It was like,
well, that's
this stinks. Like it was like I was really disappointed.
Well, because Howard was dealing with a guy who actually, he literally raised. Like, he literally raised me and taught me how to be funny. And in some parts of the show, I could actually be better than him as the student.
Yeah.
Because I did what he did.
Well, plus
as he changed.
You just also, it added this extra element to the show that
you know
was
what it was?
lacking, which was a guy that had life experience.
Yeah, right.
Where Howard did not have. He got married young. He clearly had a bad high school experience.
It was true blue collar.
True blue collar.
Right. I was stuffing kids in the locker, not the other way. No, I wasn't. I had a great. I loved high school. I loved it.
Right.
Because I did nothing but fool around.
So you had these two weirdos that really you don't know, and then you have a regular guy on who knows how to make a joke and craft it. Unlike Jackie, who was really for me a bag of shit.
Well, Jackie.
I know you like him.
No, I like. But here's the thing.
It didn't work for me at all.
Here's the thing. Jackie fit into the narrative of that show, getting goofed on and to write jokes.
Well, that was the only good part for me.
Okay, it was great.
Was when he got goofed on.
To write jokes in Howard's voice, though, he really was amazing at that.
That's true, but see,
I couldn't do that.
You didn't replace Jackie. They just added a third person onto the show. That's the way I look at it.
Benji does Jackie's job. Benji's a guy who writes great jokes that Howard uses a lot, who gets on the air sometimes and gets goofed on, and that's exactly what Jackie did.
Yeah.
I write, partly because I sucked at writing jokes, I am the only guy before or since.
Yep.
And look, as a comic, people know I'm a humble guy.
And they've left that chair open.
I don't
Just
brag
sits there,
about
it's
stuff. Right?
completely open
That's what I have in
Jimmy
life.
comes in.
That's what I have in my life. The one thing I can brag about is I'm the only other guy in the history of the fucking Howard Stern show whose mic was on the whole time.
Yeah.
That's a lot of confidence. He's putting a show that he loves in the hand. I could say whatever I want. I could ruin stuff. And for about 8 years, before the heroin completely took over, look, the chemistry was so good, I could get laughs sleeping during caffeine. I knew when to snore at the right time.
It's my favorite thing, and sometimes when that would happen, I couldn't wait to see the video. You also made the videos great too.
Howard created a world that I fit into perfectly because he raised me on comedy. So it's kind of like your teacher going, "Well, what are you doing? But you're not doing what you invented anymore. You're being like everybody else." You know how disappointing that is?
It's just, in a way, that's what the show needed to continue to, because it was been 15 years already.
But here's the thing: it continued. It's fine. Like some people have an apocalyptic view of the show. The show is still doing very well. Here's the thing. Here's why I was out, and why he wanted to. I'm Tom Hagen. You're out, Tom. Here's why. Howard mastered that type of radio that he invented. He also, though, by the way, started to realize that he was incredibly skillful in interviewing people. And I knew that from the first month I was on the show when he interviewed Paul McCartney about the concert for 9/11. McCartney came in with Harvey Weinstein on the phone, yapping every 2 seconds. And it's the best interview with Paul McCartney I ever heard in my life. And I started to realize the show I'm on, okay, I'm in the big leagues now, like Mad TV, whatever. Mad TV, SNL was the majors, Mad TV was like, this. I got in Dirty Work with Norm. We wanted it to be the Sailor movies. It wasn't. I'm proud of all those things, but it was always, when I got on Stern, now I'm on the Yankees. A beetle is 2 feet from it, and 20. I remember this stat at some ad person who did advertising audits for radio came in and told us that in around 2003 or 4, like my prime of the show that I loved what I was doing on the show, in my opinion, at 9:15 a.m. New York time, there were 14.7 million people listening to us. Wow. Everything I uttered, like I'll be at the Funny Bone Thursday, a plug, I have an album out, a movie, whatever, or you being funny. You utter that into a microphone on West 57th Street, and a guy in Seattle is hearing it going to work. That's incredible. And I'm saying whatever I want. So that's why I want to make sure I'm not being disrespectful to Howard in the sense I'm disappointed in a hero of mine and a guy who was a friend of mine, who I love. I love him. I think, like, in other words, he had to have a show where these A-list people came in so he could do those interviews. He said, I'm good at interviewing Paul McCartney. But with Artie here and the Tits and this and that and Sal and Richard getting naked, the Sibian, ain't happening. Nicholson, Brand, they're not coming in. Ellen's not coming in. Lady Gaga's not coming in. But I know I can do a show, and I'll announce it to the world. Artie's gone. Heroin did his work for him. I'm not saying he was happy about it, but I know he was genuinely concerned for my health, but in a way, it's like, okay, I wish you well, man, but now I'm off to interview Lady Gaga in a respectful way. If Brad Pitt wants to come in, if someone said, I'm coming in, but you can't talk about broads, Howard said, no, I'd rather interview fucking High Pitch Eric. Now it's different. Or I'd want to hear Artie about doing cocaine in a pig account, some shit in his pants. I'd rather hear that. Now he doesn't. That's gone. He mastered that. Now he wants to go, okay, whatever Brad Pitt wants, whatever such and such wants, I will adhere to those rules because I can do a brilliant interview. And that's what he's doing. The show's interviews are brilliant. I'm not taking away his talent. He's still that guy. But it's just, for me, you ask me why, it is going to be weird. They're going to do this documentary on my life. And this guy was so important to me. For a decade, I was on that show. The biggest radio show ever. He did everything for me. And he will not even speak to them. I have to explain that. On the documentary, you're going to hear a version of what I'm saying here right now because I'm going to be honest. And it deserves an like someone like Dave Juskow, who's a big fan and a comic and gets it. Well, if you listen to this documentary, it would be a disservice to him. Like, wait a minute. Why isn't Howard interviewed? There's a glaring omission here. I'm going to have to explain this. You don't think, and I'm being a big enough man to be honest. Yeah, that kind of hurts me a little bit.
And we don't know for
Or
sure.
any of the people
Maybe
that
I'm a
are
pussy.
on the show, they're not going to be able to interview.
Not allowed to.
Maybe it'll work out.
Unless the show's off the. I know for a fact. I've said this on the air before. I know it's for a fact that they were gotten together. Anybody who talks to anybody who used to work on the show, not just me, is fired.
Wow.
If Howard finds out, Gary got people together supposedly, and said, if you're caught interacting, like having a conversation with, going to dinner with someone who used to work on the show, the amount of people that entails, you're fired. That's not the guy I worked for. Not the guy I grew up listening to. It's not the guy I worked for. Something.
You got that right. I mean, he hasn't fired anybody. You know, I mean, he was known for not firing anybody, even if they were incompetent.
And if he tried to leave, though, here's the thing: it was like leaving the mafia.
Yeah,
not
it
one
kind of is
person.
like that.
Think about it. Not one person left that show clean.
No.
It was an argument, bitter to the end. You're an asshole for leaving me.
I mean, you're right. Like Billy West.
Billy West, Stuttering John, Casey Armstrong. Did you ever hear
They're
any of them
never-
again? Scott Einziger from
Once
the
in a
show.
blue- only if somebody calls and mentions it, and that's it.
And he's passing.
The one good thing I was going to say about you leaving, where he seems, at least on the air, not to be bitter about it, is that when Jackie left, he's brought up points. He goes, "This is the day that Jackie left. I marked it in my calendar because it made me so happy."
Yeah, he always said it, right?
Yeah.
No, it's a different time. Look, the way I left, first of all, heroin it was so tragic.
Yeah.
And I feel terrible that I put all of my friends and family through that, where people who care for you have to go through that. And I think he cared for me, and he did go through that, and I think he was bitter about it. And when he saw I was better, he was like, okay, now I'm angry. And he also has the ability to cut people out of his life. And I saw him do it with every person systematically who left that show, even if they were going for greener pastures. His best friend when I got on that show was Scott Einziger, the executive producer of the show. Great guy. He went on to produce The Amazing Race, won Emmys for it, made a lot of money. But he had to move to LA and leave the show. And he asked Howard for his blessing. Howard, in typical fashion at dinner, said good luck with everything. On the air, skewered him. With all his fucking minions, like Ralph called in to fucking pile on, and Robin, why is Scott leaving? He's leaving because he's got an amazing opportunity. Instead of saying, you're my buddy, good luck, that sounds great.
He takes it all personally.
Right, you're the asshole, why are you leaving me? He goofs on him. And then when he has success, writes it off.
Sad.
Yeah, you're right. I guess in a way it is. But on paper, the shallowest of people will go, look, Art, he's a billionaire with 5 houses and a beautiful wife, and Beth is a doll. He's got wonderful children. Howard, I've said the best thing you can say about anybody is good parenting, and clearly that's the case. From what I saw, those kids are just wonderful people, classy, and him and his wife did a great job there. No Paris Hiltons in the bunch. It's hard to do. 3 for 3.
Yeah.
I always say he didn't have another kid because he looked at me and said, what if I have already? So there's he's a winner in life. He's great, but I say I know the guy, the anger he has. There's a sadness up there where he feels, I think, a little alone still. He's still that nerdy kid in high school that doesn't talk His parents, you know, a great story. Like, he's got all that stuff in his head, and it came out, and he ran the world. Like a fucking steam freighter coming at you. And anyone who got in the way of that was in trouble. A la the fucking zookeeper in Philadelphia. You're in the wrong place, wrong time, brother.
Oh, God. Did you see the article in the Post today about him and the cats?
About Howard?
It's right. It's right in that paper right there.
What's it say? No.
It just talks about how, you know, it's
Howard,
got a big picture of Beth.
I know.
And then she's like, when he comes home grouchy, he just goes into the room full of cats, and he comes out and he's a different person.
Okay, imagine if another
Exactly
DJ.
what you're talking about.
Imagine if another DJ had that article in the Post. Imagine if Imus had that article, and it was 2003.
Exactly.
And here comes Gilbert for the news.
Oh, God.
We might still be on the air goofing about it. We would have read the article word for word and goof for everything, with Fred playing sound effects, Robin laughing,
Yep.
Gary producing, me talking. It was fun. But look, he's 62 years old. Be happy, be there. But Dave asked a good question. I'm trying to explain to you because it's going to come up. I don't think Dave's saying anything could happen. He probably will not speak on a documentary about me. I got to explain it. I'm going to have to. I owe it to the people to explain it. So this is the explanation. That's what I'm telling you. But
There's never been a documentary from anybody who's left before. And no, you're the highest powered person to have left.
well, I mean, listen, I still have a career, thank God, because
That's the other part, too.
you know,
a high-profile one, especially after the HBO show comes
Let me
out.
tell you something. That is, I am learning firsthand. For the first time, besides Howard, I'm in the Yankees of show business, regular show business, HBO and Apatow.
Yeah.
That is,
It's a big deal. It's a comeback.
You get some of that Apatow stank on your down low. Jesus Christ, I'm getting offers for a lot of. I am busy with stuff, and this is the latest thing. So the Apatow that press is about to start. By the way, promos are going to start. I'm going to be in promos all over HBO. Life's about to get exciting again for A. Lang. Now look at him. A lot of times it ends in failure. I'm prepared for that too. But you know what? At 50, if this is the last hurrah, great. I've had a lot of fun. People think about the tragedies, but I want this documentary, if it's done right, they're going to see that, no, I mostly had a blast. You know, the night we had the bullet of cocaine, and I was speeding in reverse down 7th Avenue South, making John Benjamin, the future voice of Archer, cry, and your beautiful girlfriend at the time, Jen. Who went on to marry a much more successful man.
Yep.
And the great Dave Juskow, who I just met, my friend, we're laughing, young, doing comedy in New York. That's what I remember. The tragic stuff, of course, I've told the stories. People are. I had a blast, and I'm still having a blast. I hate when people are like, "Are you okay? Everything fine?" Yeah. I have friends who have the audacity, right before they go to a fucking christening at their wife's sister's brother-in-law's house, where I could sit and scratch my nuts and look at the check for $60,000 I got the night before, and have every vice on the planet if I want to. They have to, you know, Artie, me and my wife, we always pray that you find happiness. Really, coincidentally enough, I do the same thing for you. I'm happy as hell. The character's mad at Mario. I love Mario. I do a show with Mario Bosco every night. That's what I do for a living. Me and Juskow are laughing, we're eating champagne
I'm
cocktails.
grateful. I'm
Veal.
very grateful.
Nobody gives a fuck. No, I know you are. But unlike me, pal, if I'm your Howard, when I break through the glass, I don't want you there for other reasons. No. We're all coming. Howard knows if he broke through that glass with me still there, I would have walked in like that kid who always has dirt on him into Charlie Brown's company.
Pigpen.
Pigpen.
Linus.
I would have been,
Pigpen.
if I went to Addison's wedding, I would have been Pigpen. Why does your friend have dirt all over?
You know, it's
Is
funny.
the cable out?
You reminded me of Pigpen that New Year's Eve we were together because like 2
one?
years ago, because you were all clean. You had shaven,
Where?
your hair was combed
What
down
New
at the
Year's-
cellar. I got a picture.
Oh, yeah.
And you were so clean, you reminded me of Pigpen.
That's the night
Like, that when he first leaves, before he gets the dirt on him, he cleans up.
Sarah was there.
Yeah, yes. And Jeff.
Yep.
And
Me,
Dave, too, I think.
Me,
we were
you,
all there.
Me, you, Ross, Sarah, and Jeff. And,
Yeah, I got the photo. It was we're all happy. You look great.
I mean, again, that's what I remember. People don't realize I'm as happy as a fucking. I'm fucking. Look at me. I'm living the American dream. I am what you call an over goddamn achiever. I'll show you my W-9s from the fucking 2008. And say, you fucking stockbrokers will shoot yourself in the head. But, the documentaries have ups and downs, ebbs and flows. The point is, I'm going to have to say this because people deserve an explanation. Why is that how you... It's not like Dan not showing up. All right, we got to go. Thank you, though. I love you. Anyway, so we got the football show, right?
Football show Tuesday, October 18th.
Okay.
Also live on Facebook through the Kicker.
That's right.
Kicker.com.
Live on Facebook, Kicker. That's going to be fun. We had a blast the first time. And Bocchetti.
Yep.
What do you want?
Next Tuesday, I'll be at Barnes & Noble at 842 or 821 Country Road in Elmira, New York, from 4 to 7.